Up City for a little less than a year. My church that I went to for my entire life was ending because our pastor was going away to do something else. And so it kind of dissolved, and this was kind of the go-to place for me. I grew up as a Christian. I grew up in a Christian family. I was saved at a young age, and I was in church anytime the doors were open. We went through a lot. My parents lost the daughter before me, and I didn't know her, but I kind of took the loss personally. Felt that I missed out on that relationship because she was so close to my age while the rest of my siblings weren't. So in 3rd grade, my mom was diagnosed with stage 3 breast cancer. She hid most of it from me so that I could still be a kid. I remember her being sick, and I remember her losing her hair, but I knew she was going to make it because she's strong. When I was in 5th grade, I lost both of my grandmothers within 3 weeks of each other. Then that same year, my dad had a massive stroke, and it was so serious that the doctors called us in, told us to make peace with it and say goodbye to my father. And so we did. And then he survived. Through that, God really showed me that he was powerful. And I knew that he was powerful, and I knew that prayer was powerful. And through each of those situations, he showed me that he was able to do whatever he wanted. But then one night I was laying in bed, and it had been a few years since the stroke, and nothing really bad had happened in my life or in the life of anyone around me. But I was thinking about all of my family members, basically counting them up, wondering who was going to be the next one to be hit with this great trial that all of us were going to have to go through. I didn't really have the right view of who God was. I wasn't really sure who he was. Instead of seeing him as this gentle shepherd that the Psalms talks about and that everybody told me he was, I kind of saw him as this being who was out to get me. I began reading because I do research into things that I don't understand. And so I began reading the Bible a little bit more, just trying to take in the words that I had been taught my whole life, but take them in for myself and figure out what they meant. And I bought this book called 77 Frequently Asked Questions About the Bible and God, and it's by the McDowells. And it's really good. It walks through the 77 questions and gives like a page to 3-page answers for them. And I read through the table of contents and saw that one of the questions was, who is God really? And I skipped right to that question and started reading the answer. I read it over, I underlined the stuff that stuck out to me, made my notes. It was saying how God is relational. He exists in 3 persons, and so he created humans so that he could have a relationship with them. And then it continued on to say how he was loving. The words hit me later on because we started singing Good, Good Father in church. And so when we would sing that, I would just take my little moment and just kind of bow my head and just really take in the words, you're a good, good father, that's who you are. And so I would just repeat that over and over. Then the next week, we sang the song again. When the song came on again, I instantly started smiling because I knew the intro, I knew what song was coming, and I knew that I was gonna have this special moment with God again, because I definitely worship most through song. So they started singing the verses, and as soon as we got to the chorus, my head was down, my eyes were closed. I knew that these were the words I needed to say. These were the words that I really wanted to mean with my life. And so I just kept repeating, you're a good, good father. And I could feel that God was there. And it wasn't a room full of people. It was a room with me and him. And I was having this really special moment with God. Even though I was struggling, he was there. He still loved me. He could do nothing but love me. He was so happy to have me in his presence, and I was happy to be there. He's bringing me closer to him, even through this struggle that I'm dealing with. He is just constantly there.